wasn't an episode of Frasier. That was when I defecated on David Hyde Pierce in the recording booth right before they fired me from Osmosis Jones.
Goodbye, 2018. Hello, 2019. Because sequential numbering, and because we are a society that puts a great deal of significance on arbitrary things of our own making. Hello, I'm Hyle Russell.
And I'm Matt New Year Cornah.
That, it's very fortunate that was your middle name. Usually it's a detriment 364 days out of the year, but on true. New Year's, oh boy, everybody wants to talk to you.
That's right, yeah. And my friend John, what other famous days are there? Christmas. John Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. John Christmas is pretty depressed right now because nobody wants to give him the time of day.
Exactly. I mean,
a week ago, man, everybody wanted to be John Christmas's friend, but now...
The thing is, my entire entourage are various people named after days. Which is really a shame for Paul, 29th of February.
Yeah, no, but, I mean... To be fair to Paul 29th of February, 4 years is pretty much how much time I need before I feel up to interacting with people again after the holidays. So I wouldn't mind being a hermit hobo man.
Yeah.
For
so
4
you're
years.
Really not up for this, are you? Thanks for having me on the show, though.
So this is our traditional season ender of the Kongversation, season 6. Get the fuck out of here, because talking about arbitrary things of our own making, we end the Kongversation seasons at the end of the calendar year, because we started the Kongversation season 1 in January, so it just makes sense to structure it that way, because we don't take breaks.
Yeah.
We do 12 months out of the year.
Stay tuned for Series 7 next week.
No. 3 weeks. So, because we take the traditional couple weeks off in January.
Hyle, look at your contract.
Oh, I'm sorry, the contract that I signed with myself.
Yeah, it's next week.
Yeah. My OCD is a very, very stringent taskmaster. No, Matt, so this is the season ender, and what we usually do on these is we talk a little bit about the year ahead. And I don't like to sit here, and I don't like to say, 2018, this is what happened to us these last 365 days of the year. Because I find that exhausting, and I find that bothersome, because the Kongversation is a show that traffics in nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like getting nostalgic for what just happened, and what is still recent history. I mean, as you get older, too, time speeds up. Yeah. So what happened 5 years ago is still recent history.
So
what happened...
Ideally, what we need to do is a nostalgia episode for, say, 1998. 20 years ago. Yeah.
Granted, we did that pretty much when Banjo-Kazooie turned 20 over the summer. We had our big... remember Banjo-Kazooie? We haven't talked about that in a while. But, yeah, I don't know. I hate the whole year-ending thing because, one, it's just putting a great deal of significance on something that means nothing. Oh, it's 2019 in a few hours. What does that mean? Well, it means that... It's just a day later than 2018. Grow the fuck up, people. But also, it's lazy content, because it's content for websites and magazines that don't want to create new content at the end of the year. So they churn out all of this previous shit they've done. Yeah. Hey, remember that? Remember that? You remember that from a few months ago? Well, here it is again. I'm going to be at the bar. No, fuck you. Fuck you, mainstream entertainment. The Kongversation doesn't do that, but the Kongversation's going to do that.
But let's proceed with it anyway. Come on.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. 2019 is kind of a big enigma. It's a mystery. It is the Batman nemesis, the Riddler. And I don't really know what it's going to bring, because 2018 was... it was probably one of the most... I don't know.
It's probably the latest year.
I'll have to check the figures.
Yeah.
I'll have to check our team of experts working in our sub basement here, but you might be correct on that.
But so far, it's the shortest year in history.
So far, it is. That's right. I don't know, unless like the very first year started midstream. Like we don't know. Like was the universe created in June?
I'll have to get back to you on that. I know God sometimes answers prayers if they're specifically about figures.
Yeah.
But no, it never does any actual things, but he'll answer queries.
He does, yeah. He's good at bar trivia, that deity. No, 2018 was probably the most consequential year the Donkey Kong universe had in years. Sheer volume of games that actually mattered. It is probably...
That's a very good clarifier.
That is a very good...
There's been years when there's been significantly more DKU entries, I reckon. I've not checked.
Yeah, I think the record is still 2006, but 2006 had a lot of like actual like Donkey Kong titles and games made by Rare. It wasn't just cameo shit. But
is that what we're calling them now? Okay.
Yeah, but the sheer glut of games that mattered, it's certainly, I think, the biggest year since 2006. For dramatic moments that made us go, whoa, is probably since 2010. Yeah. And we had a lot of games come out that we haven't even had time to cover on this show, this little podcast we do. Quick retrospective, so people are on the same page. So Sea of Thieves came out in March, and yeah, it's not officially Donkey Kong Universe yet. Fuck off. I don't really give a shit. It's going to be. Fuck off. Can I say fuck off another time? I just did. We had Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze come out for the Switch in May. June saw Mario Tennis Aces and the Donkey Kong Adventure expansion for Mario plus Rabbids that featured such things as new Grant Kirkhope Donkey Kong music. We have not talked about that on the conversation yet.
Donkey Kong music sounds like a game in itself.
It does, but for the Wii, that they replaced the bongos for that one. No, we haven't talked about that at all on the conversation yet, besides when it was announced, and that's because I have not gotten it yet. Why have I not gotten it, Matt? Well, it's because...
You're just asking yourself questions. There's no need for me to be here.
This is what I do at the end of the year. I reiterate my own failings, and I ponder why life has led me down the path it has.
Yeah.
No, it's because I have not known how to buy it. I'm not like a grandpa who doesn't know how to purchase video games. No, it's because in Europe it came out in a deluxe edition, a bundle like called Mario plus Rabbids Gold Edition. It had Donkey Kong on the cover, nice physical release. We have not gotten that in the Americas, so I was left waiting for it, hoping it would come out here. It has not. It doesn't look like it will. So therefore, I'm forced to buy the original and just download Donkey Kong Adventure. The problem is the original had a deluxe edition that now goes for well over $100 on the secondary markets. So my OCD now says I need that best edition, and I have to spend quite a small
Patreon patrons.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2018 being the biggest year the Donkey Kong universe has had in releases and other shit. It means I have not been able to actually squirrel away enough funds to do this properly while also keeping up with the releases like Smash Brothers, which I also had to buy the deluxe edition for. So, long story short, it's coming in 2019, Season 7. We will do that episode. But beyond that, then we had August, of course, the biggest news of the year, I think, for our community was K. Rool being revealed for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Then we had other stories like Yooka-Laylee got a physical Switch release, and they also appeared in the laughably weird Smash Bros. Ripoff Brawlout.
Have you done an episode about Brawlout yet?
There's an episode about Brawlout.
Of course you did, yeah, of course. Yeah. No, carry on, please.
We did. The Kongversation did not do an episode about Donkey Kong Adventure, the new Donkey Kong Adventure, but we did an episode about Brawlout because Yooka-Laylee appeared in it. We really had our priorities on game for this season. We also had the first decent Mario Party game in probably decades in Super Mario Party. That came out in October. There was the expanded universe launch with Sea of Thieves books and comics, including a Chris Alcock novel, which we have not done an episode about yet, Season 7. A Yooka-Laylee graphic novel was announced and funded. A new game by Chris Seaver of Conker fame called Rusty Pup may or may not be DKU. There's apparently an Easter egg in there that ties into Yooka-Laylee, but nobody's been able to find it, so nobody knows if it's a physical appearance or not. So we still need to do an episode about Rusty Pup, Season 7. And of course, then Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out in December and just exhausted all of us. So it was a big year. It was a big year, Matt.
It's exciting.
Exciting. So I want to talk a little bit about what's coming in 2019, obviously, right? But we need to kind of take stock of the absurdities of 2018, the glut of product. Back when this year began and they announced Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch, somebody made a quip on our Facebook page that 2018 was going to be rebranded as 2018. And I think that was apropos. Apropos, even.
Yeah. And it was, as we all now know. That's what we all know it as.
Yeah, officially they had to change the name. And now they're on the record books, there was no 2018 at all, which will confuse future historians, no doubt. But it wasn't even the year of the monkey. Like, that would have been great, right? Thanks, Chinese Zodiac. Jesus. They're never on top of things, are they? That Chinese Zodiac.
It's been a long-running problem for all of us, hasn't it?
I like how I pulled you in to our studio here. Like,
no
warning.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy to go on record criticizing a calendar I don't understand.
Yeah, I was like, Matt, it's New Year's Eve. I got to do the season finale of the Conversation. Get in here. And I pulled you into the Conversation recording studio, as we call it, here at DK Vine headquarters. And you don't know. You're jet lagged. You just flew in for
I
this.
usually man the DK Vine space satellite. So,
right. Which hasn't been going so well. Yeah, because our patrons, as generous as they are, they can't really fund a fully functioning space satellite.
No.
So
I have to go up there.
There's been some technical snafus with that. You've had to hold your breath for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But Matt, so I wanted to take stock of the year that was 2018. Matt, so I have not played it yet because of my crippling obsessive compulsive disorder.
That's all right. You can ask me about it.
Yeah, what did you think about Donkey Kong Adventure?
Well, I haven't played it yet. But I imagine if I had, I would have enjoyed it.
I mean, I can't fault you for that because I have not played it yet, and I'm on every single episode of the Conversation, so it's a bad look for me.
That's probably why you've not played it.
Right. I know, because I've got to do the Conversation. That's what people don't realize. They're like, oh, you're just talking about video games. It doesn't take long. For some reason, this show takes a long time, especially editing it, because I have to edit out all of the unfortunate incidents that happen while we're recording. Some of the people don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Hyle does go on these long racist tirades.
Some of the people don't know. Like, the version of Hyle you get in post-production is an easygoing guy. The real version of Hyle, who we keep well hidden.
He's a maniac.
He's a monster. Yeah. He's a monster, yeah. So, okay,
see that bit, that
fine.
gap there? It's about an hour's been cut out there. Him going off on one.
All right, so I can't fault you for not playing Donkey Kong Adventure. It's fine.
Thanks very much.
I am also at fault there. But Matt, Rare's biggest game in years since Nuts and Bolts, and arguably, but probably pretty definitively much bigger than Nuts and Bolts ever was, Sea of Thieves. Matt, what do you think about Sea of Thieves? Because a lot of people have opinions about Sea of Thieves. Everybody on the Conversation, though, seems to really love it. And I haven't heard your opinion about Sea of Thieves. What did you think about Sea of Thieves?
Well, Sea of Thieves, yeah. So, the thing about Sea of Thieves is, I think I think I've got it. I've not played it yet.
Came out in March 20th, Matt.
Yeah,
how did you not play?
You have to pay for the internet to get on it.
I forgot you don't like to pay for the internet.
No, I already pay for the internet.
All right, well, your thriftiness notwithstanding.
Well, I thought maybe if I was a pirate, I could steal the internet.
See, I can't fault you for that logic either. You're disappointing me, but then you come back at me with this airtight defense of why you haven't done these things. And I can't argue it. It's like, oh yeah, no, all right. You wanted to be a pirate. You wanted to be a pirate and steal the internet. You have not been able to, but I admire your moxie, your determination to play Sea of Thieves the way God probably intended it to be played. And you'll have to ask him that when you call him up later in your prayer.
Yeah, he's
all right, well,
he's a bit busy.
The biggest topic right now is obviously Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and K. Rool's in it. There's appearances in ghost form from most of the animal buddies and Professor Chops and Chunky Kong and Swanky Kong. People seem to like it. It seems to be warming many cockles. And Matt, you haven't been on the show since for a while now, but especially since
we did an episode about what was it? Bottles the Mole.
Yeah. So you haven't been on this show since Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out. Yeah. And we had that lovely chat about Bottles the Mole, though. Oh, Matt, what do you think about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate?
Bottles the Mole isn't in it, is he not?
No. At least not yet. But DLC is coming. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for Bottles. The thing is, I don't have a Switch.
Oh, okay. What did you do this year, Matt?
Just sat around in my pants eating pizza and stuff.
Pizza does sound good right about now.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna order a pizza. Now I'm lactose intolerant, so as we established previously on the conversation, so I'm gonna have to get like a pizza without cheese or maybe light cheese.
Goodfellas falafel pizza, vegan. It's nice.
Yeah, I don't have that here in the States.
Do you know? Just get it. I'll send you one. It'll probably be rotting by the time it arrives in Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, at least we share an ocean, so it's not like it has to go over much land.
We have to share it.
Here. Yeah.
Neither of us could lay claim on it individually. We have to share the ocean.
I'm gonna order a pizza, Matt, and I'm gonna get light cheese but extra sauce, so the weight distribution is the same. That way, if I need to do an Indiana Jones thing where I need to replace it with a sacred relic, then that way it's not thrown off. So
just the convoluted way you got to that. I just admire some of the things you say,
Yeah. I'm going to get somebody in here who knows what they're talking about.
Oh, come on,
no,
Lee. Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
It's not even right anymore. Hey, you. Yes, you. The me/Xbox avatar who first appeared in It's Mr. Pants. Listen up. If you like the Kongversation, or you just hate money, then think about backing DK Vine on Patreon. Everyone who does gets rewards. Physical stickers for just $1 a month. Early bird conversations and video content for just $2 a month. Sitting in on the conversation as we record? That's $5 a month. DK Vine bumper stickers? Why yes, don't mind if I do for $10 a month. Access to the DK Vine Inner Circle? $25 a month is nothing. A spot in Hyle's Last Will and Testament for only $5,000. Hey little boy, don't you want to back DK Vine on Patreon?
I'm calling the cops.
I sniff glue. Good pizza came. Little saucy, but I mean, it's food. Oh, hi, Jeff. I didn't see you come in.
Yeah, that was me. I was the pizza guy.
Oh, you were actually the pizza delivery man. Oh, I'm so sorry. I tried to have sex with you. Then it's just what I do.
It comes with territory.
I mean, they say they want a tip, and I think it just elude pornographic come on, as I've been conditioned to do, thanks to my teenage years of entertainment viewing. Jeff, welcome to the Kongversation season finale. And help yourself to some of that pizza, by the way. It's pretty terrible. So, you're here because, unlike Matt, you have played some games this year.
A couple.
And, yeah. So, I thought, well, I'll get the Onan in here to talk a little bit about the DKU of 2018 and the DKU of 2019. Vastly different, those two concepts.
Yeah, a whole year.
Jeff,
the difference is one.
How was your 2018?
My 2018 was garbage, but in terms of video games, it was good. So let's talk about that instead and focus on the video game side of life.
That is weird that the worse the world gets, the better our video games get.
Well, and it is weird because 2018 is yet another year without a sequel in the Ice Age film franchise, which is really the only reason I get out of bed in the morning. So, I
know this about you, yeah.
I mean, it's been a few years, so I'm waiting on that. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll be heading to a new Ice Age. In 40 years, we might all be underwater. But can you imagine the great Donkey Kong Universe games we'll get then? If my theory is true that the worse the world gets, the better the DKU gets. I mean, oh my god, Donkey Kong Racing might come out by the time we're all
it is weird. In just a few years, people are going to look back on the Donkey Kong series and think that the most fantastical element of Tropical Freeze is that there's any ice in it.
Or land. Jeff, your 2018, what was your favorite DKU game of 2018?
I was going to say Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, but then I remembered that's not DKU. I just finished it, but it's kind of no, it's not really. 2018 was it was pretty packed with DKU games to play. I didn't get much into the cameo side of things. I didn't play Mario Tennis. I didn't play Mario Party. But Super Smash Brothers was and still is the big game that we're all playing. But I think kind of a hidden gem that we're going to look back on fondly is probably the Mario and Rabbids Donkey Kong DLC. Which you haven't played yet, right?
I thought you were to say Brawlout for a second, and I was hyping myself up to talk about Apocalypse and all of my favorite characters there. No, as I just got done talking with Matt, my crippling devotion to perfection has kept me from playing Donkey Kong Adventure just because I need to purchase the North American Deluxe Edition that I have to get through second-party sellers or third-hand sellers, however you want to define it. I have to get it through the black market, essentially, now. So I'm going to be doing that now that Smash is out and I've got it, and now that I've got all of the blitz of games that were coming out in rapid succession towards the end of the year. Now that I got those, I can actually get Donkey Kong Adventure, and early in Season 7, we'll be talking about that on the Kongversation. But, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing it, and I've hated that I have not been able to play it, but it's not like I've been wanting for games to play either. This has been the most I've played video games is probably since I was in high school this year. Not high school this year, but this year has been the most since I was in high school. Sorry, the English language is hard. It's been like a year where I've only had DKU and rare games to play, but I've been playing almost nothing but new games. So it's been pretty wild. And Jeff, you and we have played Sea of Thieves for hundreds of hours, and literally our Xbox sent us a message telling us how much we played Sea of Thieves.
I forgot about that. 700 hours for me between Sea of Thieves and the Pioneer program, which is their beta testing. So, right. That's a lot of hours, and I don't know if that's even all of it. I heard some people saying that was like through October, maybe.
Oh wow!
So that's a lot. That's probably the most I've played a video game, especially considering that me and especially you have been playing Sea of Thieves since well before it came out in March of this year. So yeah, I would say Sea of Thieves is definitely one of the games I've played the most out of any game in the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt on my end. And, Smash Brothers is obviously like the game everybody's playing right now. It's the game I put in more time with this month than any other. But Sea of Thieves, I think, would still get my vote for Game of the Year for me, just because it's essentially a game I've wanted since I played Donkey Kong Country 2 way back when. And really, the game has just grown leaps and bounds from where it even was in March. So it never ceases to surprise and amaze. And unless everything just goes wrong in a session, I've always had a good time playing it. So
yeah, it's definitely my Game of the Year, without a doubt. I mean, I like Smash Brothers. I've already gotten most out of Smash Brothers that I'm going to get out of it. I've already kind of shelved it, and now it's going to be that perennial, I will crack it out from time to time, especially if I have people over, and it will probably still serve that purpose 5, 6, 7 years from now. But I have stopped playing it daily. I'm not really, they did a promotion this week with, they added new spirits that were based on the Super Mario Party. And, I didn't even turn on my system. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm not going to get them. I don't really care. I like it. I think it's awesome, but I play Super Smash Brothers differently than a lot of people. Like a lot of my friends right now are playing it every night together online and talking strategy and talking, which character they want to get better at and this and that. And I really utilize Super Smash Brothers as a party game. Something for maximum chaos and silliness and, just have a lot of fun and goof around with it. And it's going to serve that purpose well for quite a long time. But yeah, no, Sea of Thieves, I could definitely see myself still playing that several hours a month for years and years from now.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between something like Sea of Thieves and Smash Brothers, it's all in what you're looking for in a video game, what you're looking to get out of a video game. But Sea of Thieves is also going to look different a year from now than Smash Brothers looks a year from now. Smash Brothers a year from now, besides having some additional features, will still fundamentally be the exact same game, whereas Sea of Thieves could look dramatically different because it could introduce all these elements that will radically change how you perceive or play the game.
Yeah, I actually, since I'm in the Pioneer program and I kind of know features that are upcoming, testing features, and I'm not supposed to say anything because it'll be breaking NDA, but I can confirm that Tricky the Triceratops is the centerpiece of the next major update. Something to do with like Triceratops racing. So that
it's amazing that you can break that part of the NDA, which I would feel like would be the biggest part of the NDA, but you just do it anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? Take me to video game jail? Bring it on, Greg.
That's what they call it. Yeah. It's funny you just mentioned Tricky because Tricky is the spirit I freed in.
Did you free that in? Were you playing through World of Light or did you get that on the spirit board? Okay,
on the spirit
board, because he is one of the
ones
that is featured in the World of Light that you can get by playing that.
Yeah. Because I am trying to get those Super Mario Party limited time spirits before they disappear, and they're kicking my ass, Jeff. It is an ass whooping, and it's frustrating because I get better through trial and error and figuring out strategy. But the way the spirit board is designed, it does not let you do that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
fail,
I really
it
don't like that
disappears.
aspect of it.
And then you have to kind of wait it out later in the day, and then your nerves take over, and then it just becomes this whole like thing where oh god, I've got to do this, I got to do this. Oh, I failed, and then
you know what's even better, Hyle, is you succeed, and then it takes you to a screen where you have to shoot a spirit gun at a thing, and then you mess that up. So.
That's exactly what happened with me. I beat the asshole me possessed by the golden mushroom. And this is like the hardest battle out of the 3 the exclusive items for Super Mario Party or spirits or whatever. They're item. It's weird. They say they're spirits, but these are inanimate objects.
Like the barrel train cart from Mario Kart is a spirit in the game.
The Goo Goo Buggy is one I have, and it's sadly one I've used quite a bit. So it's always like I always want to get a screenshot of like say K. Rool going into battle against some sort of DKU relevant like spirit battle, but then I'm always embarrassed because K. Rool is possessed by the Goo Goo Buggy from off of Double Dash. So. It's like, nah, that's not going on social media. I beat the golden mushroom spirit, but then I failed in my zappity-doo shield thing. And that was the most mortifying moment, I think, playing Smash yet. And so now I've got to do it again. And I could barely do it the first time around. So thanks, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But anyway.
Yeah, between Sea of Thieves and Smash Brothers, those are the 2 really big multiplayer focused DKU games. Well, Sea of Thieves isn't yet DKU, but it's DKU adjacent. Got a lot of DKU references.
DKU adjacent is the best way to describe it.
Within our community, those are the 2 big games that everyone is playing multiplayer. But I think that history will look back and remember the Donkey Kong adventure in Mario and Rabbids quite fondly as well. So it's been a good year. It's been a good year for DKU games.
Well,
there's a lot of good stuff to play.
Let's not sell Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch short.
I keep forgetting that.
For us diehards, there's not a lot new there besides funky, but I think for the general audience, this is how they're going to associate the game. It's funny that a remake will be the definitive edition of a DKC game because that has never been the case. But I think Tropical Freeze for the Switch is absolutely the definitive version of Tropical Freeze. So, for a large population of people, that is a huge game. That is probably the most significant Donkey Kong related game of 2018. Well, K. Rool is in Smash, so you could make that debate. But as far as the Donkey Kong branding goes, 2018 has also seen the Donkey Kong brand also gets stronger just based on Nintendo and the way they market it now. They don't market it as an ancillary part of the Super Mario series. They market it as its own thing now,
which is great.
So you're starting to see products out there on the shelves. Like I was in GameStop looking for the Banjo and Conquer Tataku figures, and they had a package of Donkey Kong branded socks there. And it's just Donkey Kong logo on it, no Mario, but Donkey and Diddy.
Well,
socks.
You know what's great? What's great about that is that in spite of the fact that Donkey Kong is getting his own branding, Diddy Kong has started showing up in Mario games again, which is kind of a catch-22 sort of backwards thinking, but it's great. People love it. The thing is that we didn't like Diddy Kong showing up in these Mario sports games when that was the only DKU games coming out all year. And Donkey Kong was being pitched as a Mario brand, a sub-brand of Mario. Now that Donkey Kong games are plentiful, and Donkey Kong stuff can be branded as its own brand, then throw as many Donkey Kong characters in the Mario sports games as you can. Like, I love to see them in there. In fact, I don't really buy any Mario games that don't have Diddy Kong in them.
Yeah, everybody says, Hyle, you've got to play Super Mario Odyssey, and I agree. I will play it. I want to play it. I'm looking forward to it. It looks brilliant, but it doesn't have.
It does have a Diddy Kong costume,
so,
which is pretty excellent because from the rear, Mario really looks a lot like Diddy Kong when he has the costume on. Yeah, he's got bigger ears. He's got big monkey ears.
Yeah, but really, if I want to focus on Mario's rear, then he's got to get a Donkey Kong ass implant, because everybody knows the best ass of Nintendo is Donkey Kong. So,
all right. So 2018 is a good year. 2019 happens in a few hours. In fact, it's already 2019 in space, I think.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
It's closing in on us.
Yeah. Jeff.
Hyle.
Oh, so we've just been sitting here eating pizza, talking about the past. The future, though. What pizza do you think we'll eat in the future?
I'm really feeling a Hawaiian. I haven't had a Hawaiian in a while.
Here's the thing. I
fuck with pineapple on pizza. I'm cool with that. I'm about it.
Here's the thing, Jeff, and people, I might have had this discussion on the Kongversation in the past. I can't remember. Getting older, memory's starting to go. There is nothing wrong with pineapple on pizza. The people who hate it, they've never had it done correctly, all right? Because most people have it done with ham, all right? So whatever. But being a vegetarian, I can't eat slabs of pig. I'm a friend of Professor Chops, friend of WizPig, and my thinking is that what best complements pineapple, and it's actually feta cheese.
Dude, that's a great combo. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just the right combination of sweet, salty. It has just the right kind of chewiness to it. It's delicious.
Well, anyone who is anti-pineapple on pizza, even if you've had the best pineapple pizza and you hate it, that doesn't mean pineapple shouldn't be on pizza for everybody. I mean, I don't like anchovies, but I don't tell people not to put it on pizza. I don't like banana peppers. I don't tell people it shouldn't go on a pizza. You got to let people eat what they eat, everyone.
Yeah, people are like pizza Nazis, and I'm like, look, not all of us can live in Manhattan with a famous original Ray's right around the corner. So we got to make do out here in the sticks the best way we can with our pizza. And sometimes the best way is to slap some pineapple on that, bring it to life. You know what I was thinking the other day, Jeff? And I realize this is I don't know.
Hit me. Fill me in.
You know what would be a good pizza would be you take the dough, you take the crust. Instead of tomato sauce, you use barbecue sauce. And instead of cheese, you use Chinese fried rice.
Okay.
I think that would be a good pizza.
More power to you, man. Go ahead and do it. As long as, if you're having a pizza party, I would recommend you also supply a couple, like, regular style pizzas, just in case some of your guests aren't into the rice. But we gotta have options.
Look, the Chinese might have stumbled with the Zodiac and getting the year of the monkey right, but they sure know how to fry some rice.
Yeah. So are we gonna talk about DKU games in 2019, or is it mostly the pizza?
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about pizza some more. What do you think? What do you think 2019 will bring from Rare?
Oh, from Rare. Okay, so from Rare specifically, from the development teams at Rare, we are not going to get anything in 2019 besides from frequent Sea of Thieves updates. I feel confident about that.
Yeah, I think I've seen like these predictions that Rare is going to stop Sea of Thieves in 2019.
Everything
Sea of Thieves is going
everything
to be
they've done, even up until very recently, it seems to indicate that they are talking about long-term plans for Sea of Thieves. So
absolutely, yeah. Sea of Thieves is here for several years as far as continual.
Now that doesn't mean they won't be tinkering with another project in the background, but it's very early for something like that because Sea of Thieves is only a year. It's not even a year old, and if they are working on any other video games right now, which I don't think they are, it will be another year or two before we see the fruit of that labor.
Yeah, and look, this is great news for us because we love Sea of Thieves and we can't wait to see what comes out. All I can say to people who are like turning up their nose at it is try Sea of Thieves. Seriously, I feel like most people got an opinion of it early on, or they just listened to those early critical reviews before they added everything they've added since then. Seriously, give it a shot. You might like it. If you like Rare, I don't see how you could not like what Sea of Thieves is right now. It is.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, I think that if you, especially if you have some friends that are already playing it and you can hop in with them and get that sort of social element out of it, you're gonna have a good time. Yeah. I mean, it's a guarantee.
It is very much a hangout game. That's what people don't realize about Sea of Thieves. It is a game where you just have fun with your friends sailing.
That's the problem, is that the gamer. And I know this is a gaming podcast, so I'm about to make some enemies here. But the gamer community as a whole has a lot of people in it that don't have any friends. So that's an issue. Well, I mean, too bad. I'm not sorry. Anyway, other things coming out of Rare, it's possible that we will see other Rare properties being revived by studios that are not Rare. We already know about Battletoads. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think from this point on, though, you're also going to see like a significant, not significant, but consequential oversight when that happens from Rare. I don't think it's going to be this situation where Rare just completely lets go of their properties. There's going to be a healthy amount of supervision and making sure they get done
definitely.
correctly.
And Microsoft at E3 had a lot of announcements about how they had been acquiring and forming new studios within the Microsoft Game Studios, umbrella. And it really seems to me that Rare, within that framework, is acting in some ways as a mentor and as a source of a resource for these other studios coming in. They're sharing technology with each other. Rare's engines and Rare's water physics from Sea of Thieves are being shared with other game development. And I think that Rare is creating I think that Microsoft is creating a good community of developers here. And I can see Rare working with other studios to bring their properties to our systems in 2019 or maybe beyond. Definitely a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of former Rare developers, Playtonic was pretty damn quiet in 2018. They've been working on this 64-bit skin of Yooka-Laylee forever now. And besides the physical Switch release and the announcement of the graphic novel, they've been pretty much under wraps. Do you think we're going to get any big news from them in 2019?
I could definitely see a game announcement out of them. I don't know if they have something coming that is ready to release in 2019. I'm trying to think through my memory here what the timeline was of Yooka-Laylee released in 2015 or 2016?
2017.
2017. Oh, man. Life is going so slow. It just feels like years. But when did they start their...
You're Benjamin
when did they start their
Kickstarter
campaign? That was 2015.
That was 2015.
So
yes.
the big question is, I think everyone expects Playtonic to make another game after Yooka-Laylee. Maybe they are already well on their way to starting that. I don't know. The question is, are they going to do a Kickstarter campaign again? Or is their relationship with Team 17, who published Yooka-Laylee, is that going to be able to finance any sequel or further games that they're developing? I think that we're going to get news out of them this year. Whether it is a new Kickstarter campaign launches and we still have to wait a couple years for the game to finish, or we get some announcement of what they're working on.
Yeah, I think the complete lack of news for anything coming out of Playtonic besides ancillary stuff this year was kind of surprising. So I think 2019 is definitely going to reverse that trend. I don't see how it could. I don't think you could have 2 years of virtual radio silence, especially since, they've got increased presence on social media now. They brought in Daily Kong, who left Rare and is now Playtonic, running their social media side of things for their community outreach. So I think that's all leading to something. What? I don't know, but I think they definitely have something
that's what I
in
expect.
the works, and they're gearing up.
My hopes is that it's my hope is that they, instead of trying to very nostalgically recreate an older type of game, whether it be another 3D platformer or whether they move on to do a kart racer or whatever, I hope that instead they kind of go more and lean into the indie development route of make a small, a very unique new gameplay idea, and then just dive into that and really flesh that out instead of really relying on nostalgia. Because I want a new game from Playtonic that has the elements of humor and characters and cartoonishness that Yooka-Laylee had. I just don't really feel like I need a game that is advertising itself as a recreation of what was going on in 1999, you know? But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a large percentage of Playtonic's fan base want nothing but that. The people who harass Rare, the people who harass Playtonic now, you know, so I think they can definitely, like, broaden their horizons for sure, but you saw what happened when Rare did that with Sea of Thieves. People still demand a new Banjo.
Certainly.
So,
and if they do just a straight sequel to Yooka-Laylee, I do think that they will have learned a lot of lessons from the first game, and it can only be better.
Sure.
You know, they're a smart studio, a lot of great developers working there, excellent talent. So I think they're going to learn some good lessons from Yooka-Laylee if they do go the route of making another platformer.
Jeff, I know you got to get back to your pizza deliveries. I'm sorry, I know they're getting cold and they have the whole 30 minutes or less thing, so we got to get you out of here pretty quickly. Really quick though, Donkey Kong. What do you think is going to happen with the big DK in 2019? 2018 brought a lot his way, but I feel like it's just kind of setting the stage for 2019. Or beyond. Do you think we're going to get any significant Donkey Kong news out of 2019?
Timeline-wise, it definitely lines up. It's been 4 years since... it's been almost 5 years since Tropical Freeze came out. And obviously, if Retro Studios had started on a sequel right away, we would have it by now. And they didn't. I think the scuttlebutt that is going around, I think everyone pretty much assumes that whatever Retro Studios is working on is probably something different.
Absolutely.
So that means that if another Donkey Kong did start development, if another Donkey Kong Country or Donkey Kong game, did it start right after Tropical Freeze? Or did it kind of go dormant for a year or two while they shopped around for a developer, or waited for someone to come around that said they wanted to make a game? Really, we're in limbo. It very possibly could be that we're getting a Donkey Kong Country game in 2019 because it's been 5 years and that's enough time for somebody to make one. Or it could be the case that they went 4 of those years without anyone working on it and now they just started working on one and we won't see it for a while. But I do think that King K. Rool being in Super Smash Brothers, and I do think that Donkey Kong Adventure in Mario and Rabbids, I think those are signs that there is activity behind the scenes. There is definitely some thought process at the very minimum going into the Donkey Kong brand and bringing it to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, well, the fact that they are working so diligently in building up Donkey Kong as its own brand again tells me that they do have plans, even if it isn't bearing fruit yet. There is definitely, it's not just going to be, we're going to make sure we rebuild the DK brand and then we're going to leave it fallow. Like, there is enough going on. There is enough positive forward momentum that something is probably in the works somewhere. Our clandestine source within the halls of Nintendo, Dave Throat, has said as much. So it's just a matter of time. Will that be revealed in 2019? Hopefully, but who's to say? Will we get a new DK game in 2019? Doubtful, but you know, Nintendo's full of surprises lately. So really, this is the first time where I don't know what's happening, but I'm feeling positive about it nonetheless. Yeah,
no, I think we're in a good spot. We had a great 2018 that, like we said, Diddy Kong is back in the sports games. King K. Rool is back he's in Smash Brothers, the biggest stage of all. and that only points to him eventually returning to Donkey Kong games. And Donkey Kong as a brand is being treated with respect and getting a lot of due. The Donkey Kong references in Super Mario Odyssey. Donkey Kong is an expansion for Super Mario and Rabbids. It all is just making you feel hopeful, right? It's not like we've had complete radio silence on the franchise, like we did in I think 2009, where the only thing we had was the remake of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat on the Wii. So we're in a good spot.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get a new Donkey Kong game really probably until later in the Switch's life. But that being said, the place has been set. The table has been set for something spectacular, because I feel like the total history of Donkey Kong is being embraced in a way it really hasn't since Rare was there, really. I mean, I feel like there's no longer this stuff being kept at arm's length. Like, all the Rare stuff is being kind of bear hugged at the moment, no pun intended. And yeah, I'm really hopeful about the next DK game. Maybe a 3D platformer, who's to say, but I really think that's going to be the game that so many Rare diehards have been waiting for, and maybe those who weren't fully satisfied with the retro games, as great as they were lacking in reverence for a lot of the past characters and concepts. So maybe, the next DK game, whether we find out about it in 2019 or not, will finally scratch that itch. Well, Jeff, you got to get back out on your route. I know that. Just try pouring some barbecue sauce and fried rice on one of your pizzas and report back to me what they think. I think this is $1 million idea.
All right.
Here.
Well, I don't know how you could translate it to $1 million, because anyone can just make it themselves. It's not really copyrightable or trademarkable. But I will take it.
People are lazy. All they need to do is just have a restaurant do it, and then everybody will be flocking to that restaurant when they realize it's the most.
I will kick it up the ladder. I'll pass it along. I'm gonna text my buddies at Retro Studios and Nintendo of America and see what they think, and maybe they'll open a pizza shop.
I really hope that's what Retro's been working on.
So, what do we got to eat here?
Well, today we got the cream of banana soup, the banana and peanut butter sandwich.
Cameron, are you in there? Cameron!
Wow, what's going on?
I just beat the Golden Mushroom Spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's time-limited Super Mario Party whatever event. I don't know. But I did it.
Oh, cool. I got that one a couple days ago.
Fuck you, Cameron. Fuck you. I'm happy. I had to do the 50% damage item thing to even have a shot, because I haven't completed World of Light, so I don't have good spirits. But I did it. I'm happy. So now I just need River Survival. Think I can do that in a day? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so I just drove like 4 hours to tell you this because I was so excited in retrospect.
I think we only live like 2 away, so you must have taken a detour.
I got lost. How was your 2018, Cameron?
Pretty all right.
Yeah, that's pretty much like I was telling everybody else. It's great when we have a good year for video games. I just wish the rest of the world reflected it. You couldn't hear it, but there was a sad trombone music playing in my head, but only in my head, because I had to let the trombone player go because of the stock market.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. In terms of what we got in games this year, it's weird to have a year where I'm kind of optimistic about everything that this site kind of has its finger on the pulse of.
I feel like people are just assume I'm a shill now. Shill for everything. Like, it is already a joke that I'm a hashtag fake paid actor with Microsoft and Rare, but I think people are going to assume that Nintendo and Playtonic have me on the payroll too, because I I don't really have much cynicism in me right now about the state of the Donkey Kong universe, the shared Rare universe, the Playtonic universe, however you want to break down these universes to your particular taste. Of course, we just do it all as the Donkey Kong universe on DK Vine, but yeah, like everything is kind of breaking our way, which is weird. I know there's some of you out there who are like, well, Hyle, if things were breaking our way, we'd have a new Banjo game announced. Or, well, Hyle, Dixie isn't in Smash Brothers. And nothing's ever going to be perfect. And that's the thing. But perfect is the enemy of the good. And right now, things are pretty good. And I don't think they've been this good in several years. I would argue that the sense of security we're feeling now, like,
it's weird. I feel like things can only get better, and that's not a disparagement of what we have, because it's not like things can only get better because we don't have anything. Things can only get better because we've gotten things that seemed impossible not like 8 months ago.
Like I was just talking with Jeff when he delivered my pizza. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't bring any pizza. I got so excited in a little break between talking with Jeff and talking with you that I just like jumped in my car and I ran, just every stoplight that I could to get to your house, and I was still 2 hours late. But
he's pretty far. I hope you gave him a good tip.
Yeah, no. But
Did you tell him that he could play DK64 better if he had Dr. Pepper?
It's a pretty good tip. No, I really don't know why Jeff was delivering pizzas in Virginia. I didn't think to ask him that. But anyway, so I didn't bring the pizza with me, but I did stop at the store, and I got the next best thing, and that was half a bottle of barbecue sauce that I filled with fried rice. So the pizza experience, Cameron. Have some. Let me know if it's good.
I had my bottle of pizza this morning. Thank you.
Okay. So, anyway, yeah, I think right now it's a sense of security, and that is something we haven't had since before the buyout era. Like that last year of Rare with Nintendo, you still had that uncertainty because the rumors were flying about what was happening. And throughout the entire first decade of Rare being with Microsoft, there's always this feeling of, okay, the rug's going to be pulled out from under us because the games aren't selling as well as we would like. There's this critical backlash. We're kind of getting disappointment after disappointment. On the Donkey Kong side of things, it was clear that there was an internal tug of war about the direction of the franchise. You had Payon and, well, I guess Rare's handheld team doing the Rare characters and the spirit. You had Nintendo trying to kind of recreate what Rare did from the ground up with Jungle Beat. And then you had the arcade revival with Mario versus Donkey Kong. And that uncertainty just made us all a bunch of paranoid creeps. And then even when we got good things like Diddy in Brawl and, the aforementioned Payon games, we still thought at any moment everything we love will be taken from us. And we got over that when Donkey Kong Country Returns came out, but there's this almost feeling of, well, this is good, but we're never going to see K. Rool again. Or this is good, but we're never going to get that sense of franchise continuity celebration that we got with Rare again.
Think with Returns and Tropical Freeze, to a lesser extent, there was kind of this, generally we were all pretty excited for it. I enjoyed the game. I was excited for it. But I think from that point on, there was sort of this background radiation of the understanding that this may be as good as we get. Like, there is a certain level of compromise that you just had to force yourself to deal with in order to move on and keep enjoying these games as they were. You couldn't hate a game just because King K. Rool and the Kremlings weren't in it. You just sort of had to deal with it for the time being and hope they'd show up again eventually. And in the meantime, you got some new characters to play with.
And now, of course, the feeling is anything can happen. And not only that, but with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you really get a sense that the totality of Donkey Kong is being embraced for the first time.
Yeah, anything can happen, but also nothing will ever die, and
nothing will die. Everything is back on the table, and I think between the references to everything we love in New Donk City in Super Mario Odyssey, and the return of so much we love in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, coupled with, as I already mentioned, the commitment by Nintendo to make Donkey Kong a brand again and not just this vestigial organ within Super Mario, I think we're all just kind of feeling giddy right now. It feels like for the first time since Rare was actually partnered with Nintendo, our series is in a good place. We may not know who's developing the next Donkey Kong game. Doesn't even really matter. And
that's so weird to even think we can't think of, possibly Retro, but we don't really know what's going on with them. Anytime Donkey Kong doesn't have, a dedicated dev studio, it seems like, red flags should fly up. We're in trouble. But yeah. I'm not feeling that this time.
It feels like the shackles are off. And going forward, we're no longer the chained Kong, if you will. Going forward, anything can happen with Donkey Kong. And
Just keep him away from tall buildings and airplanes.
Yeah. I'm feeling cocky, I guess, and I'm feeling like even the Brothers Bear could show up, and I never would have thought that just a year ago. But yeah, 2018 is pretty ridiculous. Sea of Thieves, of course. Cameron, what was your highlight of 2018?
Oh gosh, where to start? Okay, the easy answer is K. Rool's reveal in Smash, honestly.
Like I said, that was the flashpoint. That was the moment that I think brought the community together.
At the very least, that is the moment that set the trajectory of the rest of 2018, set in stone.
And, it's funny, because looking back at early 2018, remember when Tropical Freeze for Switch was announced? It seems like a lifetime ago, but that was such a huge deal. That and Donkey Kong Adventure were announced hand in hand.
We got Donkey Kong Adventure and a Tropical Freeze port with Funky added to it, and King K. Rool added to Smash in the same year, and those events feel like they should have been several years apart.
Yeah. Remember when Dave Throat said that this was just the beginning, and this was just the first opening salvo of what Nintendo had planned with Donkey Kong? I think back to that quote a lot, especially now that we're kind of reaching the end of the year, and I just think, K. Rool and where's the future headed? But it feels good. It feels like the wrongs have been righted. The ship is out of danger, and I don't know. Like I was saying with Jeff, I don't know if 2019 will bring a new Donkey Kong game or an announcement, but it feels like it's inevitable, and it's going to be exactly what we wanted. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here, but enough nostalgia for what came before. 2019, almost here. What do you think it will bring from the three, I guess, pillars of what DK Vine discusses? Rare is obviously going to continue with Sea of Thieves, and I don't think they're going to be announcing anything else beyond Sea of Thieves updates and events, but could be wrong.
I have no reason to expect anything. We may get something, we may not, but the nature of Sea of Thieves being an ongoing content game is, and me, of course, enjoying it, is even if we get nothing else from Rare in the next year, we know we're getting more Sea of Thieves content, so that's something I can be happy about, because I'm always up for new things in Sea of Thieves.
Right, and these Sea of Thieves content updates, they're like mini games unto themselves with what they bring to Sea of Thieves, and so it's kind of like looking forward to a new game a little bit. Oh, this is going to come out, and it's different from the cycle that we're used to, where a game would come out, you'd really like it. Okay, let's start speculating and hoping for the sequel. This is more just persistent, living it.
It's not even all that predictable to me because leading up to release like of Shrouded Spoils, I think the most recent major update. Yeah.
Yes.
It kind of seemed like there wasn't as much fanfare for it as there had been like other events. Like it was a bit more low key. And I kind of, because of that, I wasn't expecting like a revolutionary, I want to say game changer, but that seems like such an understated thing to say.
Yeah,
Since
Sea of
we're
Thieves will
talking
become
about
Tetris.
a literal video game.
Yeah, they're going to retrofit Sea of Thieves as a puzzle game, or it's going to actually become a typing educational tool, like Mavis teaches typing.
But yeah, Shrouded Spoils just kind of unified the game in a really staggering way that I didn't expect. That makes it feel like very, very different from when it launched.
Yeah. It's also great because every time I played it, we've got harassed by people. So I really feel like, yeah, the game's changed, but I haven't really been able to appreciate it because we just get bombarded by assholes who want to ruin our day. So I look forward to having an experience where the server is not filled with dicks to really appreciate what Shrouded Spoils has brought to the game.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I at least like that some of the harassment we've faced is at the hands of the Kraken and Megalodon as opposed to players.
Yeah, well, last time we played, it was both.
Yeah. Shrouded Spoils is a bit merciless.
Yeah. This probably won't go up as a Stream of Thieves for a year, but next holiday season. But yeah, Cameron and I spent an hour in a lifeboat or a rowboat while we were waiting for our ship to come back, and
because we were stuck in the fog after we were attacked by a Kraken.
And all of that time was wasted because then a bunch of angry Scotsmen, although I say Scotsmen, but they were preteens, attacked us and then decided to keep attacking us. Oh, good times. That was a good time. Good way to ring in the winter solstice. Yeah. Playtonic, though, Cameron, like I was talking with Jeff, Playtonic had a surprisingly quiet year, and I can't imagine that Radio Silence is going to keep because they've expanded their community team beyond just Andy Robinson. They brought in Daly. We know like they're more active on social media now. They're clearly building to the future. What that future is, we still don't know, but I can't imagine 2019 will come without some sort of reveal.
This seems like a calm before the storm to me. There's a difference, like it's been, I would call it radio silence, aside from them being very active on social media. But it's not in a way such that, like, we know updates for Yooka-Laylee are coming, but I think there's something else going on. It just seems like...
Yeah. There's this like winking
I don't get the feeling.
impishness.
I don't get the feeling that I do with Rare, like where I feel like I don't suspect anything else is going on with Rare, or at least I have no reason to suspect it, because they have like fully gone in on Sea of Thieves, like in a way that I don't see with Playtonic and Yooka-Laylee. I feel like there's going to be something more, and plus they're an indie studio. We're not going to see big things from them right away.
Yeah. I do think Playtonic, but with Yooka, really did do a good job, though, of a year where they really had nothing to promote, and the game's been out for a while. They still did a good job of keeping the IP and the brand in people's minds. Getting the Switch physical release helped with that. And then, of course, there was the Cracklestone graphic novel by DM Cumbo that got successfully funded, and I think people are still thinking about Yooka-Laylee and Playtonic, even if they really had nothing to show off besides hinting at the 64-bit mode.
It definitely doesn't feel like there's a distance from Yooka-Laylee, even though it's been a while since it came out.
Right, Sea of Thieves has been out since March, but it's had continual updates and patches, and it's a very ongoing, emergent game world. Yooka-Laylee is more self-contained. It's a product that was released spring of 2017, but they're still very much keeping it fresh in people's minds, which isn't easy to do. And I know that because this is what DK Vine usually does with games that have long since receded into the past. So props to them, and I can't wait to see what 2019 has to show. Now, we already talked about Donkey Kong a little, Cameron. Like, we don't know what Donkey Kong is going to appear in or as in 2019. I don't think any of us could have predicted ultimately where 2018 took us. I know we were talking about like a tropical freeze for the Switch, and all sorts of other things that came true, but I think the myriad of ways Donkey Kong manifested itself in 2018. New Grant Kirkhope Donkey Kong music. I mean, playable K. Rool, which was the best case scenario for the new Smash Brothers game. It's just, my God. Tropical Freeze has now sold the copies it should have sold back in 2014. People respect it. People, appreciate it as one of the best platformers ever made. We have turned a page here from where we were just a couple short Kongversation seasons ago. So
yeah, I have no idea what I expect for Donkey Kong in terms of will there be a new game? Will there not be a new game? What other stuff will he appear in? But I am very confident about one thing, and that's if Donkey Kong appears in something that needs a bad guy, it's going to be K. Rool.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be just the pisser if we were all wrong about that? It was still a new bad guy, and they just... it's not going to happen because it feels intellectually bankrupt to even joke about it. But yeah, I don't know.
We'll get a third game, and the baddies will be, I don't know, Wall Street wildebeests or something.
Timely, but ultimately, I think it would be ignoring the pleas of the fan base. K. Rool is a bona fide superstar now. It's the weirdest thing. It's funny how I can search on Etsy now for K. Rool and have all of this bootleg merchandise pop up, where 6 months ago that wouldn't have been the case. It's ridiculous, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him now that people love him.
It's so nice that anytime a Smash game comes out or is even being led up to, you see the fan art out in force, people drawing ensemble pictures of the entire cast and stuff like that. And because K. Rool's in the game now, all of that extends to him.
Yeah.
He is a Nintendo All-Star now, and he's just going to be around in a whole bunch of stuff because he was in this one game.
Yeah, Smash is the kingmaker, like I always say. Literally, in this case, it has made a king even more so a king. So, well, that's 2018. I guess I better drive home. Cameron, can you draw me a map at least this time so I know my way back?
I only draw maps of islands. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't need to drive in the ocean. And that's also the end of the Kongversation Season 6. But not really. Not quite yet. So, Season 6 of the Kongversation, this is the season finale, but we have a contest, Cameron. A contest to win an autographed copy of Sea of Thieves #1, the comic book series, that you actually helped procure for us.
Yes.
Yes. It's autographed by the author Jeremy Whitley. So what we're going to do is we only have one of these to give away. And I like my contest here on DK Vine, but we only have one. So there's actually a bonus episode of the Kongversation Season 6. It has nothing to do with this comic, by the way. It's just a bonus episode. But it's not going to go up on iTunes. It's not going to go up on YouTube. It's not going to go up on SoundCloud. This is going to be a secret episode. It's not going to be like the Wu-Tang album that Pharma Bro bought or anything. People are going to have a chance to listen to this, but you've got to find it. It's going to be hidden. And I don't care, once somebody finds it, they can share it with the world. But the first person who finds the hidden Kongversation Season 6 episode, they will win the comic. Now, to keep this fair, we are not going to launch this contest until January 10th. And it's going to be on Twitter that people can chime in and say, hey, I found it. Here's the proof. The first person who does that wins the autographed comic of Sea of Thieves #1. So January 10th is when this contest begins. We'll be plugging it on social media, but you can't find the episode yet. But January 10th you will. It will be there. The contest will begin. The clues have already been laid out. That's all I can say, Cameron. The clues have already been laid out. So that will be the Coda to the Kongversation Season 6. But what is happening in the Kongversation Season 7? We'll have our long-belated Mario plus Rabbids and Donkey Kong Adventure episodes. Sexy surprises. More Smash Ultimate coverage and discussion. More Sea of Thieves coverage, including a review of Chris Alcock's novel. Sexy Chris Alcock surprises. 20th anniversary spotlight episodes for Mario Party, Mario Golf, and Mario Golf (Game Boy Color). Why Donkey Kong 64 still matters? More like Donkey Kong 59, am I right? An appearance by Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa. Maybe. Anything's possible. So, it could happen, but we probably can't promise that much. And a special celebration for the 20th anniversary of DK Vine. Insert old age joke here.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.